welcome back to another exciting tutorial. So today is the next part of this destruction house series. So in my last tutorial I have made all the fragment parts which I have shown you. If you have not watched that tutorial, just go back and watch that, then come here, and this will be continuation from that. Or if you want to just know how to make constraints and how to control its properties, then you can also watch this. So these are like different fractures which I have made, just I shown you in the last tutorial. So these are the same. This is for every single piece I have made. So this is for roof, column, everything, and packed. And after that I just used RBD unpack, and I have just saved this cache file or just single frame. So if I look here, like I have saved this so that it can work faster, otherwise it will be very slow to edit on these nodes. So that's why I have added this RBD IO node. You can just search here RBD IO node, this one. Just connect this and direct to your drive and save this. And we want only current frame, so it will save this, so it will be work much more faster. Okay, now let's come back to making constraints so that they have proper network of constraints. So if we look in this model, you can see that we have like wall area. This is the wall area, and there is this roof area, then there is this column area, then shed area, then railings, then glass, window frame. Like every piece is different, so we need to like think about this model, how to make the constraints. So we generally do from top to down process. Top means whichever is on the top here, or whichever is the first here. So if we look in this model, so the roof, which is like wooden blocks like these are to be connected to these walls, then these walls to be connected to grounds. Similarly, these sheds are connected to these walls, and these sheds are connected to these columns, then these columns are connected to this base area. Same for this glass. In this case, glass is connected to window frame, then window frame is connected to wall segments, and then wall is segment connected to this. So we will like make all these constraints. So let me just make from constraints. So just select RBD from rules, this one, we are going to use this one. Don't connect directly to this, otherwise it will start making constraints for every pieces. You can see here it has like all the groups and all that. So like if I connect directly to this, all these nodes, and if you look here, and if we want to maybe we don't want this one. Okay, if you want to look the constraint network, you can just add any null object so that you can display that constraint geometry, which is this second one, which is pink wireframe. So now you can see it has like these are the constraint networks. We need to like define for every area. So if we go here, this RBD constraint from rules, we can define here different groups whichever we want. These are the groups which we have made when we are making the fragments, and some are like before that groups, like which I have made in the geometry level. So these are like different. So like if we want to make constraint for roof only, so you can select this roof. Now you can see it has only going for roof. Okay, or if you want to like change for some different network, you can always go from like shed. You can see has only shed. Sometimes it doesn't show properly, so you need to like activate, deactivate sometime. See, like this. Or if you want only between two groups, like if you want to connect roof to wall, then we can define here this group area. You can go from, this is like all, you can go from group to group. So we can define here groups, like if you want like roof and wall connection, you can just go for roof and wall. So it will only connect to roof and wall constraint. Now here it is showing every constraints in this network. If you want to look for only this constraint, we have to define a name. Like if you want like roof and wall, we can define this name. Or if you want like any specific name, we can do that. So let's just go for all and just first create for roof, then we'll go for there. Just go to roof. So this one, just name this group name. See, now it has this constraint has this name. So if you want to look here, just use split node, or you can use delete node also. And in here, just in group section, just select that roof connectors. Now you can see it has only this roof connections. And if you want to like increase or decrease this, these are the settings. Like if you like decrease this, it will like lower these values, or you can decrease this. Want to very lower, you can decrease this also. Search area, see, it has like this. So it's up to you however you want. So just keep in mind, we can adjust this. See, I think 1 is enough, and I think 5 is enough. We don't want that much higher values. So this is our roof constraint. And let's next go for wall constraint. Again use RBD from rules. Again connect these, select, then go wall. And if you want to look here, just enable this group and just name this wall to this one. And in here we need to change this from roof to wall connectors. See, now it is of wall connections. See, if you want like more or less, you can always define this. Okay, it's up to you. Then next we need to go for shed. I'm not going to create for every single piece because it takes a lot of time, because these are like repetitive process, so you can easily do that. Okay, I am going to copy that from my original file. So I will be showing only major areas, major parts which are like these constraints. So like just next make one more, which is shed area. So again RBD from rules, okay. Then we just go from this shed, so that we make only for shed. Okay, now if you want to look this, and from here just go for shed. shed connectors. See, now it has like this. And again let me just lower these values, because by default it's very high, so sometime I lower these values. Then next, like we want to connect our roof to wall. We want to connect our roof to the surrounding walls. So we can do that. We can again come here, again use RBD from rules, again connect this, and we want like group to group connection. So we select this and just go from roof to wall. We want between these two. Just name here, this is our roof to wall connector. Okay, now just select this. Let's just look here how it's coming, and in see, now as you can see it is connecting our roof to this wall area between these. So if it's like coming too much, you can always lower this, see, or like you can decrease from here also. Find like very little connections or very low, so you can always define this. Okay, this is not, if you want like maximum 2 or 3 such point, you can always do here. So this is like our roof to wall connection. Next is like we want our shed to be connected to wall. So if we go here from again RBD from rules. Okay, so these are like similar process which you are going to do for all your fragment part and whichever part you want to join this, because these are going to define the behavior of your or look of your simulation. So we want this to be shed and roof, or shed or wall, and go from shed to wall, and again select this, shed to wall connectors, and if I come here, and this is our shed to wall. See, now it is like connecting to that part. And if I just template this, you can see because templating this takes time, it's going to read all the nodes and all that, that's why it takes time. So always save your file, because sometimes it crashes. So I have just enabled from here are this cache node, so it will be much faster. See, now you can see that these are the like connections. Okay, now after like doing all the connectors, then we need to like define all the properties of these fragments, like wood, cement, metal, glass, everything. Okay, so for that we are going to use RBD configure node to define our material properties. So let me just go from RBD configure node, this one, again connect this, okay, and in here you can see it has some properties like here, physical properties. So like if you want for our wall area, these are like group sections. If you select this without any selecting group, it will apply to everything. We want like to be different for every piece, so for that we are going to use group. So in group you can see you have all your parts. Okay, so I want to be like for these all parts. So if I go from here and down, and if I go to my wall fragment section, okay, this one, see these are my wall clusters or wall fracture pieces. I can either use this one or I can use this one, whatever you want. I am going to use this wall and just apply star, so it will apply it all to wall areas. Okay, and if you want to see how it's like showing here, you can just select here and you can just copy this and go to this section and just replace this. Now you can see whichever is coming. Okay, and if it's not coming, just check. Okay, you go to for wall, you can see it has wall, or you can use here wall also. So it's up to you however you want to see. So come here, and like for wall, like we want like to be cement, concrete, whichever material you want, you can choose here. Like concrete, then here we have like different type of materials like concrete, foam, light, marble, sandstone. You can use like concrete, it will define all these properties. Then dry, lubricated, grassy, whichever you want. I'm using like dry. Okay, so this is for like for wall fractures. Like next we want like for these wood or areas, just add plus, it will have second group. Now you can add for like roof area, so this is like roof. So if I go here, it will be back here and apply star, so it will apply all the parts to this. Then we want to be wood, so just select wood, go to here, whichever you would want, like beech, cedar, maple, oak, whichever you want, you can select that. Pine wood, that means you can use any wood you want. Balsa wood, just use for beech, and then whichever you want. Then from here, like again next, like if you want for your glass, like these glass windows, just again go from here your glass. See, I have this glass section. It has lot of pieces, and if I go to from here to this, so putting star means it will select all the pieces with this name after that. And in here you can select glass, you can use whichever you want, like flint glass, flint, glass, porcelain, pyrex, just glass, and whichever you want. Okay. So you need to define every property for every pieces of these fragments. Okay. So again, I am not going to do that for every pieces because it will take longer time. So you do that for your every piece. Okay. Then if some properties you don't want that or you want custom, you can always define using this user density. You can define here whatever you want density for that. If you want variation, you can use always variation also. Okay, it's not compulsory to use these. You can always put your own values here. Okay, after defining these RBD configure, you need to go for the properties of your constraints. By default, these constraints will have same properties. In here we have only created these constraints. We are not defined their properties like strength, how easily they can break. So right now they all have same values. Okay. So we need to change these for every single constraints. So to change the properties of these constraints, we need to add RBD constraint properties, this one. Now we can define the properties of every constraints. Okay, so let me just connect here this constraint to this. Let's just go for first our roof connectors because we have made this. In constraint group, just go here and you can find your roof like connectors. You can choose your color whatever you want. If you want like some fan color so that you can easily see that, just select this group. See, now you can see here. In here now you can define these strength. How strength, how closely or how tightly they will keep together. So you can always decrease this or increase this. If you want like to be break easily, you can lower this value. If you want to more forces to break this, you can always increase this. So you can define this to however you want. So roof and like this using. Then next go from again RBD constraint properties. Okay, you need to like define all from all these. So whichever you made here, you need to define here, otherwise it will not behave properly. Because in my case I have like missed one or two constraints, so my simulation keeps on misbehaving. So I have to go through every node and check which node I have missed. So after that I have corrected this. So keep in mind, just go process step by step, so it will be easy for you to control this. Otherwise it's a very hectic process. So let me just go from roof connectors, then go from wall connectors. You can use any colors here. This is for our visual purpose only. Okay, see. Now if we want like our wall to be more stronger to hold structure, you can increase this. Then we need like strength from roof to wall connectors, which we have made here, like roof to wall connectors. You can go here again. Then constraints. And just connect this here, and we want this for roof to wall. See, and same, just select this here. Okay, this one. So how strongly you want to your wall to be connected to this, sorry, roof to be connected to wall. You want like stronger connection, you can increase this. You want lower connection, you can decrease this. We are just defining these values. We need to dial this when we are going to simulate our structure or RBD destruction scene. Okay, so we need to dial all these. So after doing all these steps, you will get your house ready for destruction. Okay, so you need to cover all these steps. So let me just copy these nodes from my setup. So if we come here, and I have this very long setup. So if I copy these nodes, I think I have up to this part. Okay, these are the nodes. Just come here. So these are the same nodes which I have told you. Okay. So don't worry if it's getting very much like this. And we don't need that because we already made, so we are going to delete these nodes. Okay. See, now you can see like I have made for every single constraints, and we don't need this. I use this for checking this. So after defining every constraint, we will get here, and then we are going to use RBD bullet solver. Okay, so let me just delete this and reapply this. So let me save this. Okay, so after that you get your results saved, or if it's getting too slow, you can always add another RBD IO node to cache your objects so that it will not behave slowly. So let me just add RBD node or RBD solver. RBD solver. Okay, sorry, sometime I can't find it. Okay, now just connect this. This one is for geometry, this one is for constraint, and just let me just disconnect this and this one. I will connect this in a moment, and let me just lower this frame range because I want to show something. Okay, so if I like simulate this and use solver ground, just use ground plane. Okay, and in here I am not using very different settings. These are like just default settings, and you can always use forces like drag and all that. We just use drag. And now let's just simulate this to see how it's coming without these constraints. So if you look this and wait for a couple of seconds, you will find. See, without constraints, like everything will fall apart. Okay, so now let me just add the constraint network here. So now it will collect all these constraint data and try to maintain its shape. See, now it's holding its structure. This one is still falling because of the constraint of roof. I think in my case I have not used very strong connections. We can always go back and dial that. So if I go to this my roof constraint, this one, sorry, my file got just crashed, so I just reloaded it. So if it's like not coming properly, you can always go back here and adjust these constraint values. So that will be your settings. And let me just show you like how you want to explode. If you want to explode this house, it's a simple trick. You can do that. Just go inside it. In here you can basically pop all the particle forces. So let me just go here, pop, and let me just use, you can use pop velocity also, and let me just use pop force. And just add here some values like 10 and some amplitude like 20, something like this. And we want to activate this for very short period. Like you can activate this $ff equal to 5. It will only active for 5th frame, only for 1 frame. So it will be like short pulse of force, which will be like this. So it will explode this. This is like one of the trick you can use to explode this house if you want to show how to explode this. But we are not going to explode this. We are going to destroy this by using fire, which is pyro. And now you can see like it has not that much values, so it's not going to fall. So let me just go here and let me just increase some very high values. Okay, now let me just check. So see, and you can see now it's exploding for like single frame. Still its value is not too high. See, it's coming but not that much. See, like it's breaking something but not that much, however you want. So what we can do here, we can always increase this value. Just go for 2000 and increase this value because these are like upward force. Not go for very high, otherwise it will like destroy this completely. See, now it will like destroy this completely because 2000 is very high force for this. Even the constraint could not hold these values. See, so you can use, if you want to explode this, you can use this trick. This is a very simple trick to explode this. Just so I think this tutorial is getting longer, so up to that you can like simulate this however you want. And in next tutorial we are going to make our fire and how to destroy this our fire. So keep on your watching list. And by the way, the yesterday's tutorial is doing great, so you are liking that tutorial. So keep on liking this, and we'll be posting new contents next day. So goodbye, and we will see you tomorrow.